On this episode of the Bronze Metalist podcast, we talk about The Astonishing by Dream Theater. Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Bronze Metalist podcast. I'm Kale.
I'm OJ.
We're two professional broadcasters. We like metal, and we like to talk about it, and it's that part of the summer again, which is whichever part of the summer it is when I decide we need to listen to a Dream Theater album, which has, for some reason, become a summer tradition. I think it just happened to be that the first two times we talked about Dream Theater, it happened to be in the summer, and I was like, well, this is a summertime thing we do now, with the exception of when their latest album came out and we talked about it.
Yeah, at a different time, right?
Yeah, because I didn't want to wait several months in order to talk about it.
You know what we should do? We should petition them to only release albums in the summer.
It would be more convenient for us if you only released albums in the summer.
Dear John and Jordan.
Dear John and Jordan and Mike and James, if you could. But yeah, it's that time for us to talk about a Dream Theater album, and I was like, what haven't we listened to? I was looking through the list.
This is more of an EP.
I was looking through the list of albums that we hadn't listened to, and I was like, nothing really appealed to me until I scrolled past The Astonishing, and I was like, you know, out of what we haven't listened to, it's probably the most interesting. But I was hesitant to have it be the subject of an episode because it's so fucking long. It's not a slog by any means.
It's not.
But it is by far the longest album we have listened to.
Yeah.
Maybe with the exception of that Slice the Cake album, if you include the really long like ambient intro thing that they made.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. I think that whole project probably comes in at well, maybe close. Maybe close to 2 hours. But it's certainly by far the longest Dream Theater album, which is not to say, it's saying something because you know they don't, they're not known for their brevity most of the time. It felt like it was one of the more interesting things we could talk about. It was their only second ever full concept album, like. They've done a number of albums that are all based around a theme. Right. But, like, the only other album of theirs before this that was a full story and concept was Metropolis Part 2. That had, you know, a continuous narrative. Right. And I think it remains... I don't think anything... The 3 that came out after this, including the most recent one, they, again, were more traditional of... You know, we're theming it around a certain thing. Like you know, the most recent one was themed around various parasomnias, various things that fuck with your sleep. Right. But there wasn't a continuous story. 6 Degrees of Inner Turbulence about various kinds of mental illness, but there's not a story there. Right.
There's like separate vignettes related to that.
Exactly. But this very much does have a story, and we'll get into the story
it's
kind
of
it.
A nefarious story. Yeah.
Certainly. But yeah, we'll get into that later. First, how you doing?
I'm great.
That's good.
I'm exhausted. You know, last week, of course, my ninth grader, my youngest, was staying at my home, and I was getting up and I was taking him to school. Yeah. And so I had to get up an extra half hour early every morning. So, and I'm having an impossible time getting my circadian rhythm back. Yeah. So I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, I haven't been sleeping well either. Yeah. I don't think I have gotten to sleep on time when I want to without some manner of chemical assistance since I have gotten back from vacation. Sure. I think, you know, I've required ZQuil or alcohol or something.
Or some combination thereof.
Not a combination. No? That's a bad idea. But I bought a couple of weeks ago. I bought a bottle of bourbon because why not?
It's good to have a mixed drink. I like Old Grandad and diphenhydramine.
Yeah. A handful of Benadryl and some handful of Benadryl and some Pappy Van Winkle because I have exotic tastes.
Yeah. Good Lord.
No, to really wash it down. No, I cannot get to sleep when I want to. I think there's been a couple of nights that I probably got to sleep at a more reasonable time, but it doesn't seem like it matters what I do. I just cannot. My rhythms are all fucked up. I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been tired.
Yeah. Another thing has been the thing. I have my Instagram there, and I occasionally look at it. Every other picture or video on Instagram is Brent.
Yeah. So last Friday was it Thursday or Wednesday night? Yeah. So I guess the night that we recorded last time, Brent Hines, the longtime guitarist for Mastodon, died in a motorcycle accident. I'm
sure you all know.
Yeah. Which if you're a fan of this podcast, you may have known that already. But yeah, certainly. A very tragic thing to have happen to somebody who's made a lot of music that I adore, that I love. And it also is tragic, and it sucks because there seemed to be a fair amount of bad blood between him and the band.
Right, which they didn't seem to resolve. Yeah,
it didn't seem to get resolved, and it's also not entirely clear how two-sided that was. How much of that was just coming from Brent, and how much there's details that we will probably never know about what led up to him. According to him, his departure. Yeah. He challenged the idea more recently on social media and whatnot. Kind of challenged the idea that he left the band of his own accord. But I don't know. Whatever else could be said about Brent Hines is maybe not for us to say.
I feel like his leaving, the situation was messy because I feel like the last 51 years of Brent's life has been messy to some extent.
It's the vibe that one could get from the outside for sure. But we didn't know him personally, so
no.
But it's definitely. It definitely sucks.
Yeah, and all the pictures and things that people are posting, like the last thing I saw before, like I left the house, I checked, something was posted by Larry Lalonde of Primus.
Okay.
It was Larry and Les and Brent dancing drunk in a kitchen.
Yeah, it's just sad because he, man, that boy could play guitar.
Yeah, he could flickety flam that guitar.
He could flickety flam that glider. And he had such a distinctive way of playing too.
Yeah.
Where you could really tell that he was, a banjo player first.
Yeah.
he had this very sort of country kind of inspired way of playing electric guitar in a metal band that made his style of lead very, very distinctive.
And it had a lot of feeling to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very, very emotive. Very soulful playing. So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, even since he departed the band, it's been up in the air who might be his permanent replacement. They've been playing with various touring guitarists, but have yet to decide on anyone on a permanent basis. But we'll see. What goes on with Mastodon going forward. I think on a songwriting level it'll probably be pretty similar because as far as I'm aware, especially in the last decade or so, it's mostly been Bill and Troy and Bran that have been doing most of the songwriting as far as I understand. Braun? Is it Braun or Bran?
I think it's Bran.
I can never remember.
I think his middle name is Flakes.
But Brent definitely did write a few songs. But I think most of the songwriting, structurally in the arrangement, was done by the other members of the band, and Brent was there to provide the leads and whatnot.
And vocals.
And vocals as well.
Those will be sorely missed.
Yeah. It was one of the things I was disappointed about on their most recent album, which is 3 years old, or 4 years old at this point.
Right.
But one of the things that disappointed me about Hushed and Grim is that there was not enough Brent on it. I as much as I like the other two's voices, I really liked Brent's voice, and it's sad knowing that's not going to be around anymore.
I think what would be fun of them to do on their next album is just Bill.
Only Bill
singing.
I mean, Bill technically has sung, but it's, I think, backing vocals on, I know at least Blood and Thunder.
Right.
He does provide some backing vocals and continues to do so at live shows. So Bill technically does sing occasionally.
Right.
But it'll be interesting to see what shape Mastodon takes going forward.
Right.
But yeah, it sucks. What else has happened? Oh, something else that was that made me emotionally upset. But
Death Stranding 2?
in a better way, in a good way, was that I finished the story for Death Stranding 2.
Yeah.
And man, I don't know what it is about Hideo Kojima. I don't know what it is about the way he writes his games and how they are so weird and awkward, and the dialogue, it can be like stilted, and it's like all of these elements feel like they should not come together to form a narrative that is as emotionally effective as it is. But god damn it, those two games have been able to pull tears out of me so many times, and it's like they're all of the elements. Just if you describe them individually to a person, they'll go, "What the? This is a video game? Why would you want to play that?" Like,
but then you do, and you get it.
Yeah. I don't know if everyone gets it. Right. I get it.
Right.
I think people generally seem to like the second game a lot more than the first one. Like,
really?
There's a lot of people who say they did not like the first game that like the second game, and that confuses me.
Why?
Because I feel like they're extremely similar. Like, there are definitely a lot of quality of life improvements in the second game that I appreciate a lot. But I don't feel this major difference that apparently some other people are, that's causing them to like the second game so much more than the first one. Like, I loved the first game, and I really like the second game, but I don't feel that they are that different. So I don't quite understand the change in opinion some people have. I think it's honestly less to do with a genuine difference in the game, and I think the world is just more ready for Death Stranding now than it was in 2019.
Wow, is that old?
Yeah, I think people are just more. They're more willing to accept the weirdness of it. Like, I think in 2019, people were like, "Oh, so you're telling me that in this apocalyptic event,
because we can't even imagine something like that,
where people are isolated from each other and separate, you're telling me that delivery people will become heroes and will become really important to society as a whole? That's unbelievable.
That's unrealistic.
Hey, what's this news coming out of Wuhan about some kind of virus? I genuinely think I think Kojima has said, first of all, that COVID provided a totally unexpected boost to like the sales of the game, because people were like, hey, this is kind of like what your UPS driver is doing right now.
He's building roads out there.
Yeah. He's building roads and zip lines and stuff to get but just like the idea of like essential workers and the most important people in society suddenly being delivery drivers and whatnot. Like, I think that provided a bit of a boost, and it apparently also radically altered some of the things that he was going to do with the second game, and really like influenced the plot of the second game and how it was going to go. Overall, I think I like it about as much as I liked the first game. I really, as far as story wise goes, I think they're about on par.
Is it a different story though? Is it?
It is different. There are definitely beats that get repeated, but it's not too much of a rehash.
Gotcha.
It's a good sequel, I would say, where it's not so radically different that you're like, well, you didn't include any of the things I liked, but it's also not so much of a rehash that you're like, oh, I've seen all this before. You're just doing the same thing again. It strikes, I think, a comfortable middle ground. There are some things that maybe did feel a little too similar, like similar story beats happening at similar times, but you can choose to see it more as just a motif that maybe makes it feel a little bit less repetitive. But I like it probably just about as plot-wise about as much as I liked the first game.
Nice.
Gameplay-wise, I think I like the second game quite a bit more. Just because things are generally a lot less annoying, and that comes, from like the UI is easier to navigate. All of the different things you can do are a little bit. There's more things you can do, and it's easier to switch between them and navigate the various different game systems, and like things are generally a lot more streamlined without losing depth, which I like. There's also like little noises and whatnot that got really, really annoying to me.
Really, in the
first game that they've taken out. Like every time you opened up the map in the first game, after 5 seconds, there was a little dialogue window or something that would pop up in the corner of the screen, and it would like blink and make noise. So if you just like opened up the map to check it really quick, it bugged the shit out of me because I was opening up the map constantly.
Sure.
It bugged the ever living shit out of me, and that's gone, which I'm very appreciative of. But I did find combat was still pretty frustrating at times. Like the game system of Death Stranding is not really designed for combat. Not to say the engine, but just like the mechanics of the game itself. The Decima engine is the same engine that Horizon Zero Dawn uses. Sure. So it's
Forbidden West.
Yeah, Zero Dawn first game, and then Forbidden West second game. But
still have to finish the second game.
But it's the same engine. So it can, do really cool combat and stuff. But
great combat in that game.
But in Death Stranding, I mean, the thing you're spending 95% of your time doing is walking or driving around to deliver packages.
Yeah.
And then the other 5% of your time is maybe you're going to be fighting some bandits or whatnot. When you have the luxury of being able to take your time and approach an encounter methodically, it's fine. But the story forces you into several really much more intense situations where the combat, like there are enemies that are coming at you and trying to melee you, and swapping between weapons that will be better for those situations, which is my reflex. Maybe because I've played too much Doom.
Yeah.
But like wanting to weapon swap to use or to bring more weapons with you, so you have something to tackle different situations. The game system the animations are really clunky. You get stuck doing different animations because it's also in this weird. The animations are in this weird middle ground where they're not really physics-based the way that like a Rockstar game is, but they are doing some really complicated math to try and pretend that it is. So you end up getting like locked into certain animations if you stumble or trip over something, and there's no like way to cancel it that I know of, and it can get really frustrated when the game forces you to like try and go fast and react to something quickly. My cat is smelling your feet. But like it can get really frustrating when you aren't allowed the luxury of taking your time, because that's most of what the game wants you to do, the game generally, she's really interested in your feet. What the hell?
I don't know what's going on here.
I don't know.
Just the 1 foot.
Seema, stop being weird.
I mean, this is probably the most attention she's paid to me in her entire life.
Other than that time when you were covered in male cat piss.
Right. Right.
From the cat that pissed all over your apartment.
Right. Who I'm still taking care of, by the way.
But it's not at your home.
It's not at my home, no.
Maybe he sprayed your foot and you didn't notice. I mean, I feel like we'd smell it if he did.
Well, so here's the deal. Here's the deal with cat hormones and cat piss. You can get it on whatever, it's never going away.
Yeah.
Even if you can't smell it anymore, she probably can still smell it.
Possibly. She wasn't bugging you like this last week.
That's true.
It's weird. I don't know.
She's not humping me or anything.
She's
nice.
just really, really. Your right foot apparently smells really interesting to her. That's so weird.
Hi, Zima.
Nope. She only cares about your foot.
Well, you should see my OnlyFans.
But yeah, as far as like the moments where it really forces you to engage in a lot of combat are few and far enough between for most of the game that it doesn't get really bothersome. Towards the end, they string together a lot more intense encounters just because, the plot's ramping up. We're getting close to the climax. We got to include more combat. And the enemies that they throw a lot of at you towards the end are much tougher. They're what are called ghost mechs, where they're like robotic enemies that have very high armor. And they don't give you a lot of weapons to counter that effectively. Like shotguns work well just because it's a lot of damage at once, but even that like takes a couple of bursts to take down even like the more basic ones. They're pretty beefy. There are different difficulty settings, and I think I had mine at like medium high just because I probably could have turned it down because I did get pretty frustrated at a couple of points where I was like, I'm not having fun, Hideo.
I'm not enjoying this.
Kojima-san, I'm not having fun. Overall, very, very positive experience for me with Death Stranding 2. I'm not quite done with it yet. I'm not quite ready to put it down. I've got, I want a 5-star. I think I want to 5-star all of the different delivery points, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm able to sustain that. I guess it just might be a matter of like, are there some podcasts I want to listen to? I'll throw those on and then drive around for a while.
Which reminds me, speaking of video games, I think I'm going to do it either today or tomorrow.
What?
The DLC.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, get yourself into the shadowed lands. Get yourself get on down in there to the shadow tree.
I didn't know if I wanted to try and beat Melania first.
Melania, wife of Trump.
Yeah.
Melania.
Yeah.
I mean, she's one of those bosses where it's like, it almost feels like you're obligated to do it because it's like she's the one everyone struggled with.
Right.
So it's like it feels like, to me, while I was playing it, I was like, well, I have to do that because I also wanted to do everything. I wanted to try and beat every boss.
Right.
I think I did. I think I have beaten all of them. I don't think I beat Placidusax on my first on my original run.
That's the one you have to time travel to, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I beat Placidusax on my original run, but when I played through the DLC, I did go back and eventually beat him. I tried a couple of times on that original run. I was like, I don't feel like it.
I mean, he just hits you with lightning all the time.
Yeah. In like, and I had, I don't know how many more level ups at that point, but I did find him a lot easier than I expected upon going back, but it might be. I don't remember at what point in the DLC I went back to try and kill Placidus X. But compared to some of the DLC bosses, I was like, oh, this is okay.
Right.
This is fine.
Well, it's because you'd played those really hard bosses.
Yeah.
And you came back.
Like, all of the major bosses in the DLC are a step up from all the rest of the bosses in the game, in my opinion.
What is the dragon that lives in death? That's are you
talking
Fortisax? No. It's not Landsax.
Yeah, it's Fortisax.
It is Fortisax.
Landsax is his sister, who's the one you fight a couple of times.
Right, yeah, you fight her on the Altus Plateau. And
then she's somewhere else.
Yeah.
I don't remember where she is elsewhere. But
wait, she's the one that's initially in front of Ronnie's Rise, yes?
No.
Oh, who is that?
That's Adulla, I think. Glintstone. Adulla's a drake. The Landsax is an ancient dragon, so 4 legs, 6 wings.
So Adulla is going to try to call me on my cell phone. Or never call me on my cell phone.
Drake.
Yeah, okay,
Got
never mind.
Got it.
All right.
Figured it out, yeah. The ones that are like morphologically wyverns, which is to say 2 legs and wings versus the traditional European style dragon, 4 legs and then wings. Although in Elden Ring, the ones that have 4 legs have a bunch of wings.
Right.
And then you've got, Placidus X, who before several of them were ripped off had 5 or 6 heads.
Right.
It's not clear exactly how many heads Placidus X had.
Well, he's a lich dragon. Is that
No, you're talking about Fortisax.
Okay, yeah.
Placidus X was the previous Elden Lord of some previous age.
But
and then
long
Baal the Dread challenged him to a duel. And when you go to fight Baal the Dread, if you pay close attention, you might see that several of Placidus X's heads are still attached to him, still biting down on him. Baal the Dread, pretty hard, pretty difficult boss. Messmer, quite a difficult boss. I think the one that I probably spent the most time on, maybe other than the final boss, is Relana, who is Renala's sister.
Why would parents do that? Relana and Renala?
Why would Miyazaki do that?
I don't know.
But Relana is a
is she the sun goddess or
no? No, she is She's got the twin moons. She is she's a melee like intelligence.
Shit.
Yeah,
that's
melee fighter. One sword is like, I think one sword is cold, one sword is fire. It's she's got a lot in common with a boss from Dark Souls 3, Pontiff Sulivan. I don't know if she has the same moves. I struggled so hard with her. She is a huge pain in the ass.
She probably has. I mean, were you facing her with like your intelligence build with your?
Initially, I think she's what got me to change.
Right.
But even once I did, I didn't necessarily find it any easier.
Okay.
She's a brick wall. The Divine Beast Dancing Lion, also very difficult, but also not necessary. I didn't know that when I fought Divine Beast Dancing Lion. I thought I would be able to continue to progress through the area, but the door's locked and you can't continue until much, much, much later in the DLC. Divine Beast Dancing Lion could be the first boss you fight.
Really?
Yeah, it could be the first major boss you fight. And it's really, really, really hard. The soundtrack is fucking good though.
Better than the original game, or?
I mean, I was specifically for Divine Beast Dancing Lion.
Oh, okay.
The sound, but I do think the soundtrack for the score, I guess, for the DLC is very, very good. It has some of my favorite boss themes that FromSoft has ever done are in Shadow of the Erd Tree. I really like that.
I'll have to go buy it then. It's $40.
I don't know.
All right.
I don't remember. I don't think I paid attention to the price when I bought it.
Yes, because you don't pay attention to price tags.
I don't need to see the price tag.
Darling, bring more money into the bathroom. We're out of money paper.
What to wipe my arms with? After I take a bath, I dry myself by rolling around on dollar bills. And I get filthy again because dollar bills are disgusting. It's a good thing we're not Canadian or British or Australian, because then the money would not absorb a shit.
Because it's literally
the money is plastic.
Right.
What?
Got lost there.
Got lost in the sauce.
Hey, what about Drownthar?
Drownthar.
That Dreamcatcher.
Yeah. So if you don't know by this point, Dream Theater is an American progressive metal / progressive rock band from Massachusetts.
I guess. Well, okay.
They
met in Massachusetts.
I guess they're technically from New York. I think.
Right.
Not New York City though. Where are they based out of?
Like upstate New York somewhere.
Let me see. Let me look here. It's formed in Boston, Massachusetts.
Right. Because they were going to school there.
Yeah, I do think that some of them at least now live in New York. I don't know. I don't remember.
And this album was recorded everywhere.
Yeah. Let's see. Cove City Sound Studios in Glen Cove, New York. Astoria, the Samurai Hotel in Astoria, New York. Street of Dreams in Toronto. CNSO in Prague. I don't know how much of that is the band recording and how much of that is like their extra recordings for the choir, the orchestra. I don't know if it's for the first time or not, but I do know that for this album, they went and recorded an actual orchestra and choir, which I think they've done choir stuff before. I don't think they've ever done a genuine orchestra before, because usually they just have Jordan, play, a synth, synthetic strings or whatever.
You could tell. You're listening. At first I'm thinking, well, they're one of the greatest keyboards like of any band.
Yeah.
But that's not keyboard. Those are real people singing.
Those are, it's
holy shit.
So yeah, they wanted to do that just because this album is so big and theatrical that I think that was the right decision. And it just heightens the sheer ambition of this album. So this album is 130 minutes and 23 seconds long.
So it's over 2 hours.
Yeah, it's 2 hours, 10 minutes, 23 seconds. It is by far their longest album. And it's got everything. This album has everything.
That was my first thought. This album is really Dan Cortez, isn't it?
But this album's got so much going on. There's it is a I would call it Dream Theater's take on a rock opera. Is what I would call it.
Yep.
It's a concept album that's it's sort of a science fiction concept album. In the future, part of the United States has been taken over by this evil empire, essentially, where traditional music is not played anymore.
No,
instead, it's
electronic sounds.
Yeah, this sort of like electronic thing generated by these noise machines. And there's this village where there's this guy named Gabriel who can sing and play music, and he's got like magical powers.
Right, because he can sing and play music. That's not self-indulgent at all.
Exactly. It's like when writers are like, and the real greatest power was the written word. And it's like, all right, okay,
all right, buddy.
What do people believe in? Stories. That's why Bran the Bro. Shut the fuck up, Tyrion.
And even you watching it, the actor's face, you could see it on Peter Dinklage's face.
I can't believe I'm saying this.
I can't believe I'm saying. I'm glad this is fucking over.
Yeah. So anyway, the Emperor, Nefarious, not spelled the same way.
No.
It's spelled Nayfaris. F blah 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 blah.
It spelled like if he was a C tier rapper. I mean,
yeah. He hears about Gabriel and thinks that there might be some threat to his power, so he travels to this village, which also has this this resistance militia in it, run by Gabriel's brother. And goes to see Gabriel perform, and he and his family are initially moved. And in the performance, Gabriel falls in love with the Emperor's daughter. Immediately. Her name is Faith. But the Emperor, despite being moved momentarily, still thinks it's a threat to him, so he declares that the village is going to be destroyed in 3 days. But then Faith comes back to try and meet Gabriel, and there's this whole long story that eventually ends with the power of music, making people believe in life again.
Right.
Including the Emperor turns off the noise machines and the power. Faith at one point is killed,
right?
And the
by
power
accident.
of music brings her back to life.
Even and it's very wonderfully dramatic that because Gabriel shouted so loudly, he lost his voice. So he has to empower the villagers to do it.
The villagers hear the scream from whence he lost his voice, and they're drawn and they gather and they start singing, and it helps him find his voice again, and he uses it to bring her back to life.
By the way, after I listened to that, the song's still going through my head, but then a new song, Fahu Fore Dahu Dore.
The plot and the lyrics is it's like a Broadway play. It's very heightened. It's kind of silly. It's kind of goofy. But
there's even a song that sounds like it might be like a hymnal, it even has the word hymn in it. What is it? I can't remember all the names of the songs.
There's 34 songs. I did not write down a favorite track because I couldn't keep. I can't keep track of that shit.
I did.
Okay.
I figured one out, but that's. Yeah.
I'm glad that you did. We will get there.
All right.
Eventually. Definitely. I like. There's some Broadway vibes here.
Yeah.
In my opinion, that rock opera vibe is very strong to me. Some a little Jesus Christ Superstar.
Right.
And a little. I mentioned this to you before we started recording. There's an old Canon Films movie that's kind of notorious called The Apple. Back before Canon Films was entirely consumed by schlocky action movies, they were trying some stuff. This was the Electric Boogaloo era.
Right.
And so the Breakin' era, Breakin' 2 Electric Boogaloo,
right.
the most famous sequel ever. But yeah, there's a Canon Films movie called The Apple, which is meant to be a little bit like a rock opera take on the Book of Revelation. Sort of, but told through music and whatnot. And this reminded me of that a little bit as well. I haven't seen the movie. It's one of those movies I'm only familiar with through other people talking about it. And I've seen clips, I've heard some of the songs and whatnot. It sort of brought to mind that. And if this were sonically mediocre, then you could just go like, oh yeah, it's just this silly stupid thing, but it's Dream Theater.
Yeah, so it's excellent.
Yeah. It's so ambitious, but because it's Dream Theater, they deliver on it.
Right.
I think they don't do this sort of stuff all the time through active effort. I think it takes effort to not have every album be something like this. In the same way that it takes effort for Brennan Lee Mulligan to not speak in monologues at all times. I think if they had infinite time, this is what they would do for every album. And they reduce it because at the end of the day, it needs to be released.
Yeah, it needs to be palatable to the general masses. Yeah,
they're like, just this once, let's go absolutely batshit.
By the way, I snapped out that we're talking about Dream Theater onto my general Snapchat, and I got already one person from Canada saying best drummer ever.
But the drummer's not.
I didn't say what album it was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But well, I mean, Mike Mangini is a great drummer.
He is. Mike Mangina is awesome.
But also, like, I guess because James LaBrie is the Canadian one,
right?
So that's I guess the bit about them from Canada,
right? I don't think it was a burst of national pride.
Yeah.
I think it was just saying he rules. Yeah.
Mike Portnoy, one of the best drummers ever. Mike Mangini, also one of the best drummers ever. I think that's something that tends to get lost in the whole, like, people talking about who's better, which Mike is better. They're both fantastic drummers. They just have a different playing style.
They were both in Dream Theater.
Yeah. But funnily enough, the way that this album was written is John Petrucci started working on the story in like 2013, and then presented it to the band, and the band was like, cool, okay, we'll start working on this. And so then he and Jordan Rudess basically sequestered themselves to write the music, and then handed it to the rest of the band. But it was, guitar and keyboards and lyrics, which is fine for John Mayung playing bass because it's guitar, and James LaBrie is used to just getting handed lyrics and figuring it out. And then you have poor Mike Mangini, who's just like, there's no drums on this.
Right.
I'm going to have to work so much fucking harder than everybody else and listen to this over and over again to put drums to this.
I like to imagine that the guys handed the music to him and said, we're thinking bongos.
So yeah, it's like making your drummer work even harder, because I feel like it's fair to say that in most bands the drummer is the hardest working person there.
He's the athlete in the band.
Yeah, like you're the person under the most physical strain most of the time, unless the singer is getting really into it and running around this, unless their lead singer is Greg Puciato.
Sure.
In which case maybe he's putting himself under the most physical strain.
Which I just realized that they're a straight edge band.
Dillinger?
Yeah.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
I'm not shocked to hear that.
Yeah. They took the pledge.
But anyway.
And by the way, also, if you've ever seen footage of the band Cheap Trick playing, that statement is fucking hilarious.
Why?
Because the drummer was Bun E. Carlos, notoriously fat and would smoke behind the drum kit.
I mean, there are definitely some bigger drummers out there too, which is it's impressive, honestly, especially depending upon like how fast they're playing. Like the drummer for Silent Planet is a pretty heavy set guy.
Sure.
And goddamn,
well, yeah.
that boy can play. That boy can flickety flam them drums, to quote Brent Hines.
And Vinnie Paul of Pantera.
Yeah,
he was a big dude.
Yeah, so it's I think it's definitely possible, but you're working that much harder. I think, depending upon your playing style.
I used to love that. We'd be playing on stage and the room would be hot, and I'd be like, "Oh man, I'm schwitzing up here. I'm sweating."
Yeah.
And I look over at the bass player, and he's like, "Oh geez, yeah." And then I look back at our drummer Jimmy, and he's a puddle.
Yeah. If there's one person on stage that is not wearing a shirt, it's going to be the drummer.
Right.
I mean, famously, Gojira, almost any picture of them playing anywhere in the world, Mario is not wearing a shirt.
Right.
It doesn't matter what the weather was outside. It's got to be cold for Mario to put a shirt on.
Yeah.
I guess I need to look back on the performance they did at the Olympics and see if Mario was wearing a shirt there. I didn't pay that close attention. I didn't have that in mind, because you just expect Mario to not be wearing a shirt.
Sure, but I feel like this is the global
the Olympics,
athletic competition. Let's put on a shirt, Mario.
I mean, plenty of the athletes aren't going to be wearing shirts.
Well,
actually, no. At the Olympics, they are usually
the swimmers,
shirts, aren't they? Yeah. Swimmers basically being the exception. Pretty much anyone who's not getting wet is usually wearing a shirt.
I think the swimmers and the bowling teams. I think
shirtless bowling,
shirtless Olympic bowling,
shirtless specific category. There's regular Olympic bowling. and there's shirtless Olympic bowling.
And actually,
at the Winter Olympics,
right.
also the curlers, shirtless.
And actually, that's how you could denote the teams.
Yeah,
it was a shirts versus skins game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let's do shirts versus skins at the Olympics.
Yeah.
Dream Theater.
Yeah.
But yeah. So the writing and production of this was pretty interesting, and like we said earlier, they brought in a full. They brought in a composer to help put together some of the orchestral elements of the album, along
David
with
Campbell or something like that?
Yes, David Campbell.
Yeah.
The orchestral elements as well as the choir elements too. So yeah, it's definitely like one of the most ambitious things I think they've ever done.
Sure.
And it had generally favorable reviews. First of all, should we establish? Do you think this album slaps?
Yeah, it slaps.
I agree. I think this album slaps.
I mean,
for sure.
It slapped when I'm walking along, and one of the songs. What was the name of that friggin' song? I gotta know. That song was 3 Days.
3 Days.
At the end of 3 days, it suddenly goes Dixieland on you.
Yeah.
Did you notice that? Like what?
What's going on?
What's going on?
This album definitely felt kind of unpredictable in certain spots of just like
but it wasn't jarring.
It wasn't jarring, no. But so the score on Metacritic is 80, which I think that's pretty good as far as the Metacritic score goes. I think it is generally described as being kind of what we've said of just like, it's very ambitious, and that has to be respected. But in the pantheon of Dream Theater albums, I don't know if I would rate this super highly.
Sure.
But it's interesting almost as a novelty to me.
Right.
Like I've only listened to this album once before, partially because it's so goddamn long. I would say when you make a commitment to listen to it, it doesn't overstay its welcome. If you're following along with the story and you're paying attention, it does a good job of keeping you engaged. So it doesn't feel boring.
Right, and the sad parts are really sad, and the happy parts are really happy, and they do a good job of that.
There's I can't remember what song it was. There's it may have been sometime in the song 3 Days. There's some word that James LaBrie delivers with so much stank, and I don't remember what it was. I don't remember what word it was. But there's like James LaBrie does a lot of really emotive singing on this, which I mean he always does. He has such a warm voice
and dramatic.
Yeah, he does a very good job of conveying this very dramatic and I mean kind of silly lyrics at times, but he gives it his all. Everybody I think is giving it their all. I do think maybe because it was so like almost exclusively written by Jordan and John that it feels like John Mayung and Mike Mangini's playing was not as prominent.
Kind of background. Yeah,
it felt more a little bit more in the background, which like Petrucci and Rudess are always very prominent in any mix that they do, but they're also playing the two classic lead instruments,
right?
But yeah, it definitely, this was a very guitar and keyboard focused album. And to me, I like Dream Theater best when everybody is kind of getting some equal time to shine, because they're all masterful musicians.
Yes.
And I know the joke is always that like, oh, the all the people playing the instruments are so they're the best ever, and then you have James.
Yeah, he's also there.
I do think, and I know I've liked to make fun of James LaBrie many times in the past, but I do think he really is, he does bring something very, very special to the table. I think he is a very good singer. Are there better singers? Absolutely. But I do think it wouldn't be Dream Theater without James LaBrie.
Right.
I've not listened to anything without him on it, to any of their work without him on it.
Is there work without him on it?
Yeah.
Really?
They made 2 albums before Images and Words, I think.
Oh, supposed in the 80s then.
Yeah, in the late 80s. They made a couple of albums with a previous singer before James LaBrie came on board. And I've not heard any of that. And I don't think the band really cares to promote any of that material. I don't think they're particularly attached to it or proud of it. But yeah, like to me, Dream Theater, it would not be the same if James LaBrie was not singing on it. It would not be Dream Theater. It wouldn't feel like Dream Theater. Yeah, I think he's as integral to their identity as a band as Petrucci and as Rudis are. I don't know. I like that James LaBrie guy. I think he's a good singer.
Jimmy Cheese.
Good old Jimmy Cheese.
Yeah.
Jimmy Cheese from up in Canada.
Yeah.
But you had a favorite song that you made note of. What one was it?
I did, and I was impressed by the song "Our New World."
Oh yeah.
I was impressed by it because I've been listening to this album for 2 hours, and I'm like, I mean, where can they possibly go from here? And I'm like, oh, this is the perfect place to go.
Yeah,
this is great. Is it Lizzie Hale?
Yeah, Lizzie Hale from Hailstorm.
Yeah,
is featured on that track. I think
I can hear that being a radio hit.
Yeah, for sure. The crescendo of the album is very satisfying. Which that's something that Dream Theater always does very well. 34 songs,
right?
2 acts, 130 minutes. It's definitely it's got a special position in Dream Theater, just as like a record, not a album, but as a
record,
a statistic of we did this. This is something we're capable of doing. And I'd be interested to hear them try and do something similar to this again.
Sure.
I don't know what form it could take. What if they did a Metropolis Part 3?
I'd listen.
I don't know if they would ever do that. It feel like Metropolis Part 2 feels like it's almost become sacred in some way, where it's like, how would you, even though the fact that it existed at all was a little bit of a joke,
right?
Like, not that the album is a joke, because it's one of my favorite albums, period.
Right, but Metropolis Part 1.
Yeah, they called it that just because they thought it would be funny to call a song Part 1 and then never make a Part 2, and then they're like, okay, but what if we made a whole album? What if they did do a Metropolis Part 3? And Portnoy's back in the band.
You know what?
And Metropolis Part 2 was Portnoy's baby.
Hear me out, Dream Theater, because I know you're listening. Just go right to Metropolis Part 4. just and then have everybody dig through your catalog going, what the fuck did I miss?
What did we miss? Where's it at? Or have Metropolis Part 3 be a grindcore EP.
That would be great.
It's a 20-minute grindcore EP,
but
40 songs.
Yeah. It's their version of Scum.
And it's technically all one continuous song. It's all the Dance of Eternity. But it's just split up into so many different parts.
Right.
It'd be the funniest thing they could do.
Yeah.
What medal do you bestow upon this album, like Maz Kanata to Chewbacca?
It was very good. They played very well. It still gets a silver.
I agree.
Yeah.
It definitely is not sitting up in my top 5 Dream Theater albums. But it's enjoyable. It's a good experience if you're a Dream Theater fan, if you're a fan of progressive rock or progressive metal, if you like weird concept albums. I think you will enjoy this. You just got to carve out some time for it. And there are also, two distinct halves of the album. There's an Act 1 and an Act 2. So
they're distinctive, yeah.
You could pause. Mm-hmm. You could pause and listen to one half one day and the other half the next day.
Like you're binge watching Star Wars or something.
Yeah. It's
after A New Hope, you go take a shit and put another pizza in the oven.
Another pizza.
Well, I mean, you had to eat a whole pizza through episode 4. Then
the movies aren't that long, though.
It's more
how
than
many
an hour.
pizzas? Sure, but a whole pizza and then eat another whole pizza.
I feel like this is a special occasion.
I don't even do that when I watch like Lord of the Rings, and that's a whole day affair.
You know what I do with Lord of the Rings is I will get some rough cheese and a rough day-old crust of bread, so I can pretend it's lambus.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Do you try to spread not enough butter over too much bread, whatever the fuck Bilbo says?
Yeah.
I am old Gandalf. But a silver. Yeah. A silver for the Astonishing. Mm-hmm. So next week, what do you want to talk about?
Well, I was going to bring my...
It is going to be September next week.
I realized that I was going to bring my favorite progressive metal album. Just to have you listen to that, but you know what? It's
Chaos Sphere by Meshuggah.
I won't bring it now. No, but I decided. No, you're right. It is going to be September. We should do something non-metal. I thought I should give Kale the gift of something he would never listen to on his own, but really should hear because it's one of the best things ever recorded. It is also a fairly long piece.
Okay.
You're going to be listening to it and you're going to go, what's my body doing right now? My body's doing a thing. Yeah. Songs in the Key of Life by Stevie Wonder.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Stevie Wonder. Interesting. All right.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
From 1976.
Songs in the Key of Life by Stevie Wonder. Okie doke. Sounds like a deal.
All right.
Sounds like a deal to me.
It's fantastic.
All right.
I mean, I feel like that's something my son has been saying. My youngest son, he's been saying all this year. He says, I think this year is going to be the year of me saying some very safe things.
Stevie Wonder's good.
Yeah. Yeah. Not controversial. Yeah.
I quite enjoy The Godfather.
Yeah.
I think it's a good movie. The opposite of Peter Griffin.
Right.
It insists upon itself.
It insists, Lois.
All right, so Stevie Wonder next week.
Yeah.
Until then, why don't you go ahead and subscribe to our podcast feed on whatever podcast service you're using to listen to us on. Until then, thank you very much for listening to another episode of the Bronze Metalist podcast. I'm Kale.
I'm OJ.
Congratulations!